can't wait because when every time I have to make a ball, I just get all excited. So come back and join me. I'll be right back. And here we are on the road cooking with Johnny. Our first trip down south to Cary, North Carolina. We are visiting our friend Michele and Jean. They live right behind us. We're gonna go in. Michele has a different spin on a pound cake. It's called chocolate chip pound cake. And it's really a bit different. It has a beautiful crust on the outside, a sugar crust. We love it. It's delicious. I can't wait till you taste it or get to see what it looks like so you can make it at home. Just follow me inside and you're gonna meet Michele. Trust me, you've never met anybody like her. We'll see you in a minute. Welcome back to Cooking with Johnny. As we said on our previous episodes, we took Cooking with Johnny on the road and we came down to North Carolina to Cary to my dear friend Michele's house. We've been friends since we were little tiny girls. Her looking like Barbara Streisand and me looking like the Pillsbury boy. We're gonna make this delicious Southern cake and she's gonna explain exactly what process we're gonna take. Michele, welcome.
Welcome.
And let's see what we're gonna do here today.
So today we are gonna make a Southern chocolate chip pound cake, and how it's different from what we do in the North is obviously where I grew up.
When you say the North, you don't mean Alaska, you're talking about New York.
No, we're talking
All right,
the Northeast. Let's just say the Northeast, the city as I call it.
Was Alaska even north from me? I have no idea.
I have no idea. I think it's west. But anyway, so once you make the cake and mix everything, we're gonna actually encrust the pan with sugar, and a coarse sugar, so that once you bake it, it actually will caramelize.
Okay.
And so it gives it a little bit more sweetness to a cake that really is not meant to be sweet. So what we have here is all the ingredients that we need, and all these ingredients are found in everyday kitchens. There's nothing that you have to go out and shop special for. We have some flour, we have some eggs, butter, some different types of extracts, both almond and vanilla, baking powder, salt, and chocolate chips.
This is regular flour you use, regular baking flour, or all-purpose flour?
This is all-purpose flour. You can actually use any type of flour. You can use gluten-free flour. You can use, all-purpose flour, white, bleached, unbleached. It really doesn't matter.
It is a simple process.
It is.
Okay,
you do have to use butter, not margarine. And as you can see, I melt my butter. A lot of people, you can use room temperature butter if you want, but you cannot use butter right out of the refrigerator. It needs to either be at room temperature, or as I like it, melted, because it just really blends a lot better in the blender. So as you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 ingredients. Simple. It's very simple. Yeah. Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with 2 cups of sugar.
Is that the first step, the 2 cups of sugar?
This is the first step, 2 cups of sugar. I've already pre-measured it, and it can be, once again, any type of sugar. If you want to use organic, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. But it does have to be white sugar.
White sugar, not brown sugar.
Not brown sugar. No, this is 2 cups, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna put all of it at once into the mixer. Okay. And then we're gonna put 2 sticks of butter, which is actually 1 cup, as you can see. I melt it, because for me, I like the way it blends a lot easier with the sugar. And most baking recipes, they call for sugar first and then butter. Okay. So you want it to blend. So this is 1 cup of butter. I've melted it in the microwave. I didn't do it on the stovetop. Very easy for anybody to do. I'm just gonna scrape this in and get what didn't totally melt, but I'm gonna just put all this in the mixer. And then we're gonna put the paddle on. Okay, so we're gonna turn that on. And you can use, I started off slow. Okay. And you want it to be really blended, and you want it to be really smooth. You almost want it to be like a yogurt texture. You want it to be really mixed.
You can see that's what's happening.
Yeah, and that's why I like it melted, because it blends so much easier, and you don't risk the chance of getting chunks of butter stuck in it, and that's not what you want. So as you can see, it's kind of blending. It's getting a little bit thicker. The sugar's getting a little bit thicker. It's going to get very creamy. And then I'm going to turn it up. So you can see it's really, once I turn the blender up a little bit to higher, it's really blended, and it's very creamy. It almost looks like a yogurt kind of texture, so you know that's what you're looking for.
Oh, good.
You're kind of looking for that look.
Now,
so,
in order to incorporate the ingredients, that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, so we're done with this. And now what we're going to do next, we require 4 eggs.
Okay.
And again, regular eggs. You could also use egg beaters for people that don't want to use real eggs that have cholesterol
Will it make
issues.
a difference or no?
It makes no difference at all. I just, I grabbed 4 eggs, but you can use egg beaters. The equivalent of egg beaters to 4 eggs is 1 cup.
Okay.
So we'd use 1 cup of egg beaters or 4 eggs. The key is putting 1 egg in at a time. Okay. So why don't you go ahead and do that?
You want to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, but let's take them out of here.
Okay.
Put them here. We'll just crack them one at a time.
One at a time. You can throw the shells right in there.
Okay. I'll crack them and you can put it in there. How's that?
Okay. So we're going to put them one at a time. And if you're using egg beaters, you're going to do a 1/4 cup at a time. So you want each egg to be incorporated before you add the next one. So you want to kind of, you want to watch, see how it's getting incorporated, and because you don't want a bunch of yellow. So we'll do 2. We might have to turn the blender up a little bit. No, it's good. As it's getting incorporated. 3. So at this point, you'd have 3/4 of a cup of egg beaters.
And 1 more to go.
And, right. And this is your egg. And this is number 4.
You can see how the yellow from the egg is kind of blending in.
Yes, it'll blend. And it'll actually turn, it'll clear. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. And you see how it's getting a little fluffy because that's the egg. So now we're going to add our extract.
But it has to get nice and fluffy before you put any more ingredients.
It should, yes, it should be fluffy, and because that's what's going to make the pound cake light. So when you're baking, it's all about the mixing.
Okay.
So now we're going to add our extract. So this is vanilla extract. We're going to do a teaspoon of vanilla extract, and you're going to just, I use a teaspoon right from the drawer. You can use a measuring spoon.
When it comes to flavoring, I just a little eyeballing it.
Yeah, so I'm going to put the vanilla extract in, and then we're going to put almond extract in. And this was a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I'm going to put a little bit more. I'm going to put 1.5 teaspoons of almond extract. That gives it a really good flavor. And we're going to let that mix for a couple of seconds. That's all mixed. It doesn't take long. And this is 2 cups.
Delicious, the almond.
It does. It gives the cake a really nice balance with the vanilla and the almond. So now we have 2 cups of flour.
Okay.
Okay. We have a teaspoon of salt,
and I'm right into the flour?
I'm going to put the salt right into the flour. I'm going to put all my dry ingredients together at once. This is a teaspoon of baking powder, and I'm going to put it all in together because it just makes it easier to blend. I'm just going to kind of blend it a little bit together, and now we're going to shut the mixer off, because if you throw this in while it's mixing, it's going to go everywhere, and you're going to have an I Love Lucy episode.
Which would be nice.
Yes.
And which one of us is that, though?
I totally want to be Ethel.
You gotta look like her.
Exactly. So we're gonna just put a little bit in at a time. Stop.
This is like cooking with Barbara Streisand. Look at that face. It looks just like her.
I wish.
Bab's making us a chocolate pound cake on a Jewish level. It'd be awesome.
So I probably put in a little bit of, maybe half.
Half of it?
Half at a time.
And then you let that blend completely? Or?
And then I'm gonna let it blend. I'm gonna go slow because we don't want flour all over the face. And then I'm gonna speed it up just to blend it a little bit. And you can see it's still staying creamy, right? It's not really getting thick. Not yet. And then
it
that's
really
good.
does smell delicious. You can actually smell it.
You can smell the almonds. So we're gonna lift this up. We're gonna put the other half of it in. Just gonna put it right in there like that. And then it's really important when you're doing this to scrape down the sides of your mixer to make sure that you get all of it in. Exactly. Because what you don't want is you don't want any dry spots.
We don't want dry spots.
No.
Not at our age.
No dry spots. And then we're going to start off slow again. Then we're going to turn it up just a little bit once it's going. We're going to turn it up a little bit, and we're going to have to stop it and scrape down. As you can see, the flour will cling to the sides. So we're going to scrape it down one more time. but you see the texture is beautiful. So I just want to make sure that I have everything off the sides, off the bottom, that my mixer is mixing everything together.
So basically, just get all the delicious ingredients.
You
want to get every drop.
It really wants to be, you really want it incorporated because again, you can see now that I scraped down the sides, there's still a little bit of flour and you want that all to be incorporated. So our last ingredient is chocolate chips. It's 1 cup of chocolate chips.
Okay.
So before we put it in, I just want to talk about chocolate chips for a second. You can use milk chocolate, you can use white chocolate chips if you wanted to, semi-sweet.
There's a reason why you had to choose one size over the other.
And I like the little ones. So, and the reason why is there's a lot less melting, lot more melting in the cake when used than chunks of chocolate. And I also prefer milk chocolate. People like semi-sweet, dark chocolate. You can use whatever your family would like. Okay. There's no problem. So now with this,
it's gonna be delicious. It's chocolate.
Yes,
Who
it's
doesn't
chocolate.
Like chocolate?
Exactly. So now we're gonna put them in.
Do you do it all at once, or little by little?
I'm gonna shut the mixer off, and I'm gonna raise it because I don't. Again, and I kind of spread them all a little bit around just to incorporate. Now this, we're just gonna incorporate this just for a couple of seconds, and we're gonna do that on low. And basically, there you go. They're in there.
It's done.
That's it. And you're going to shut your mixer off. You're going to make sure that that goes down. And then we're going to prepare the pan.
Okay.
We have to prepare the pan before we put the batter in. So while that sits and kind of drips off the beater, we can go ahead and prepare our pan.
Okay. So what is it that you have to actually do with the pan?
So
we can get rid of all these?
Yeah, we can just put those over there. So to prepare the pan, you can use Pam, you can use whatever, any kind of cooking spray you want. I like Baker's Joy, and I just have had great success with it, so I always use it. So basically what we're going to do...
They're going to love you for that.
Yeah.
They'll be sending you a case of Baker's Joy
there
spray.
you go. I would love a case of Baker's Joy. So what we're going to do is you want to coat your pan really good. So we're going to spray this pan really good because we want our, for 2 reasons. One, we want the cake to come out really easily and we don't want it to stick. And we also want it to, and it's really important to use a bundt cake pan. 2 reasons. One, we want the cake to come out really easily and we don't want it to stick. And we also want it to, and it's really important to use a bundt cake pan.
Could you make it a flat cake instead of bundt cake if you wanted to? Almost like a cornbread type?
I think you could.
You've never tried it that way? I
have not tried it that way because this is just a prettier presentation.
It is very pretty.
You can put it on the table for dinner and so.
But anybody that's challenged like me with a bundt cake, when I could get all the ingredients and I can cook it, but when it comes out, I get 4 sections. I somehow destroy it.
Oh,
so,
no, this is going to come out.
I just don't.
So now we have 1 cup of sugar.
Okay, that's the same sugar you use for the cake.
That's exactly right, exactly right. And we're going to dump it in the pan. So we're just going to dump it all in the pan like this. And I know it looks like a whole lot of sugar, but what we're going to do is we're going to start shaking it. And we're going to cover the pan where the Baker's Joy was, and you might have to hold this and kind of.
Hold it?
No, you could kind of just turn it. And I usually do this, as you can see, at the sink, and I dump the excess out. And so now we have our sugared pan.
And just make sure that the whole pan is coated on the inside.
And
it looks like this once it's done.
Exactly.
The middle is all coated. I've got this delicious sugar. It's gonna be when the cake is ready. I guess it'll be all caramelized.
Oh, it will be.
Like when we normally see it, it's like this beautiful crystal sugar bowl that you make out of it.
It's going to be beautiful. So now at this point, we are ready to just shake this off. And can I have that spatula, John? We're going to scrape just make sure we get every little bit. And we're going to throw that back. And so now all we have to do, and there's no special way to dump this. I mean, it is just dump it in, because once you put it in the oven, it's going to figure itself out. So we're just going to put it in.
Now I can see that you just let it kind of flow.
It will flow itself.
It will basically settle at itself at the bottom and become this ring of delicious, creamy batter, as you can see.
Whenever you're baking a cake or anything, no matter how you put it in the pan, it will settle itself. Okay. It will settle itself. The dough, it will just settle itself. And I just you know, I just make sure that I get every little bit out of the pan. And so it is ready to go in the oven.
Do you let it, does it go right into the oven?
It can go right in. So
or?
no, you don't have to let it sit. You can just put it right in the oven. And I've already heated the oven to 350.
350.
And it will bake, and it depends, everybody's ovens are different. So you'll have to check it at 45 minutes, use a toothpick, put it in, see if it's done, take it out. My oven, it's probably closer to 55 or 60 minutes. And then you just take it out, you set it on a wire rack to cool.
To cool off.
You have to wait until it's completely cool, and then you can flip it out.
And then this won't need, because it's got the sugar caramelized, it will not need any frosting on top or any glaze.
No.
Just
No.
as is.
As is.
Now, when you
it's
say the
absolutely
toothpick goes in,
delicious.
it comes out, I mean, obviously the toothpick has to come out dry.
It does.
If it's still wet batter, it has to be baked a little bit longer.
That's right. And
you
every
need to
oven.
use your judgment, because again, everybody's ovens are different. This one's an electric oven versus a gas oven. So just, go accordingly, just make sure it's good.
You'll know
burn.
your oven. You use it all
You know
the
how to
time.
bake
You'll
your
know.
buns.
Exactly. You know how to bake your buns. And I also do regular oven in today's age when there's convection ovens everywhere. I find that this particular cake bakes better in a regular heated oven
Not
versus
convection.
not convection.
Okay.
So at this point, I think we're ready to put it
Shall
in.
I open the oven door?
You can.
Okay.
And we're just going to put it right on the middle shelf. I've already moved my other shelves. And I'm fortunate enough to have a cook timer, so I am going to set the timer. And I'm going to set mine for an hour, and then I can check it at 45 minutes. And then I'll know if I need to put it back in. I'll do the toothpick and check it, and then...
So it might be a little bit longer, it might be a bit less.
It really, yeah,
So,
with my...
but 3/4 of the way you're going to check the time.
At a minimum, you have to cook 45 minutes.
Okay.
No matter whose oven or what oven, it's going to take at least 45 minutes.
It's real simple.
Yep.
In the meantime, we can sit down and catch up on, in the past couple of years, we haven't seen each other.
That's
Talk about
right.
our
And let's
children,
have some
talk about
coffee.
Your children, talk about my dogs, talk about
Yes.
our husbands. What a pain in the butt they both are, but we'll talk about them.
And we're going to talk about what else we're going to do
and
while
then
we're
we're going
here.
to clean this up. We'll come
Yeah, we're gonna
back,
get this all
get
clean.
the cake out of the oven, and we'll have a nice cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
And then maybe we'll even invite our husbands in to join us. Who
No,
knows?
I don't think so.
We'll talk. We'll
No.
talk. We'll have a little coffee talk. Talk about
Exactly.
ourselves. Welcome back to Cooking with Johnny. We finished cleaning up. Michelle's all done. She put the cake in. Now we're going to take the cake out, but she'll do that. I'm just going to keep watching. This is her thing. I'm just going to enjoy and eat everything as she does this.
So I checked my cake with my toothpick at 50 minutes, and it wasn't done. I needed another 5, so we left it in 5. So now we're just going to take it out, and we're going to put it on the hot plate. John, if you would close the oven. So it's still obviously hot, but you can see around the sides where some of the sugar has started to caramelize.
That looks delicious.
Yeah, so what we
Why
want
don't
to
you pick
do...
up so we can just kind of show everybody.
Yeah, we
it's
can.
hot.
It's very hot. And you want it to rest and cool.
But
Probably
you
it takes
do
like
something
about an
first
hour.
before you
Yeah,
let it
right.
cool.
So what we're going to do
mentioning?
is I just take a knife from the kitchen, a steak knife, and I just go around so you can see all the sugar. So this just loosens it so that it doesn't, not that it's really going to stick. I just want it to come out much easier than it would. So I just,
So when it gets cool, it'll pop right out.
it'll pop right out.
Okay.
Right. So, and you'll just, when we get ready to take it out, we'll just lift it right from here. But I just do this. It just loosens the sugar up a little bit. And you can see that color is really nice golden brown.
It smells amazing.
Yeah, and it's really, the color is just amazing. And you know, when you bake things, there's 2 things that I always look for. One is the texture of what something is when I'm mixing it, and then second is the color when you take it out. So
Yeah, those are the same 2 things I look at in other processes besides bacon.
Exactly.
I won't talk about those
Exactly.
processes though.
Oy vey. So anyway, but you can see the color is really nice and golden brown.
Golden is
So we're
delicious.
going to let it sit here for about an hour, let it cool.
And then we'll come back to
And then
it?
we're going to come back to it.
All right.
We're going to pull it out. We're going to put it on a dish. And then when it's, we're going to let it sit on that dish for a little bit. And then we can flip it, put it on a serving dish. And we're going to
Then
have a
we
cup
can
of
go-
coffee and a
we're
piece
gonna eat
of
it.
Southern
I
chocolate
might have
chip
more than
pound
one
cake.
piece, just to let you know.
No, you're only having one. You're
For
only
now.
having one.
Okay, well, we won't let us see. So
No.
we'll come back. We're going to actually go sit in her yard and just talk for a while. Again, more catching up to do. We haven't done it in about a year. We do on telephone and Facebook, but in person. So We're gonna let this cool off and come back in and have a nice cup of coffee. We're gonna eat it. Maybe we'll bring the husbands in as we keep talking
No,
about
we're
these
not.
two husbands.
No husbands.
We got a little
No.
husband. A little husband.
No.
We'll find a little husband.
It's us. It's only us.
All right, so no
No.
husbands.
No
So
husbands.
come back and join us as we decide about what husbands. Maybe we'll even switch husbands today. Who knows? You never know. Thank you. See you in a bit. It smells so good though. It really is hot. Bet you delicious just like
Oh, it's
that.
hot, yeah.
And welcome back to Cooking with Johnny. As you've seen, the cake now is nice and cool. Michelle took it out of the oven. She's going to explain everything before we actually get to taste it. Good, Michelle. Take over this cake of yours.
So we've already let it sit for an hour, so it's cool. And we've already scraped it, remember, as we went around with the knife. So that's already good. So we're just going to shake it just a little bit away from the pan.
I'll hold the bottom for you.
Yeah. And we're just going to shake it, and it should come right out. And there we go. We're going to put it on the plate.
Yum.
So you can either serve it just like that, or you can flip it onto another plate. I tend to just leave it there unless I'm having company. I usually just leave it on that plate, and I think we can just serve it right from there. So let's take a cut.
You take a cut because I'm taking a piece.
All
and the
right,
rest coming back to Brooklyn with us.
Let's see how it turned out. It's nice. It has really good form. You can see it's nice color, and you can see it's nice and it's going to be nice and crispy. And we'll just come right off the pan. Just a little piece. See how it is. Taste it. I'll have just a little piece.
It smells amazing, Michelle.
Well, let's see. Let's see how I just.
Who said fluffers can't cook?
Exactly.
Where's your piece?
That is my piece.
It's a little
Bon appetit.
tasty.
Really good.
I wish they could taste what we're tasting.
Really moist.
You feel. I mean,
You can taste the
everything.
almond. You can taste a little bit of chocolate.
Oh my God. And you know what? It's not that dry. It's on a
Very
side.
moist.
Very moist. It's absolutely delicious. Michelle, I can't thank you enough for helping me with this. Now, we would love for you to come to New York and do an episode up there with us on another cake, maybe one of the dishes that we create up there.
I would love to. I would love to.
Barbara needs to come back to Brooklyn.
I would love to. I'd
That's where
love
it comes
to.
from.
Maybe we could do a nice summer dessert too. With all the fresh fruits in season, we can do
Who
it.
needs fruit? You got us. We're just as fresh as they get.
This is true.
So thank you for joining us. Again, we're going to post the video, obviously, with the recipe on it. It's delicious. You're going to enjoy it. So simple. We're looking forward to the next episode of Cooking with Johnny. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to my husband, Michael, for filming, and Jean, Michelle's husband, for letting us come down here, and her children for tolerating us, and all her wonderful little pets. We'll see you all soon. Thank you, and have a great day.